This is your Councilwoman Katrina Baskin from the beautiful city of Miami Gardens. I am so happy to introduce to you all my Save the Arts initiative. And with that, we have birthed Broadway in the Gardens, which will be a display of all things great in theater, from singing to dancing to spoken word artists, giving our local talent an opportunity to showcase their talent to our community and to tourists. It is Black History Month. And what better day or what better time to celebrate Black excellence? I'm happy to introduce to you all Ms. Karla from the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center. How are you today, Ms. Karla?
Well, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. I'm so glad you took time out of your busy schedule to be here with us today. I'm not sure if you heard much about my Save the Arts initiative, but it was birthed as a result of the $32 million budget cuts to the performing arts industry. And with you being employed by the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center, I know that you have had some experience with budgets and grants and the type of programs that you all can offer to the youth. So tell us a little bit about your background and what you do for the Cultural Arts Center and all that good stuff.
I am the arts education manager for the visual arts department. So I manage all of our visual arts teachers, classes, students, make sure they have all the supplies they need. I also teach fashion design and modeling classes with our youth in the program. And I'm deeply involved in all of our workshops, like our summer arts conservatory, as well as our winter camp. We do a winter camp every year and a spring camp. And then we also have after school programs.
Okay.
And the students are able to come there and take classes in dance, drama, singing, music. They can play an instrument. Then they can also have sewing classes or knitting classes, along with the standard visual arts, drawing, painting, ceramics.
So you have a very, very, very large responsibility. Not only are you providing supplies, I'm pretty sure you're making sure the curriculum is sound, good quality teachers that you have there, just to make sure that the experience for those students is one of greatness and it'll be memorable for these kids. Tell me, how many kids do you think you all service throughout the year?
Throughout the year, I know for sure our summer arts conservatory gets close to 200 students each summer. Throughout the year, it could be thousands because we also do outreach programs where we go to certain schools because, as you know, a lot of the schools had the arts removed.
Exactly.
So some of our teachers are actually outsourced to some of the local elementary schools in our area to provide like dance classes and things of that nature. So it's actually quite a few children who are serviced through the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center.
And it makes me happy to hear that you all are out at the schools as well. Mm-hmm. I'm an educator and I know about the cuts to, art and Spanish and music and even PE for the kids, because now they have to include an additional layer of support for those struggling readers. And that's what caused them to pull out from some of these programs. So that part I didn't know about the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center.
Yes. So there was a program that came through us. I think they provide grants, and they asked us if we could have some teachers go there. We also partnered with a local private school, like the Wright Leadership Academy, started by Brent Wright, and we taught there for 1 year. So we're trying to get back with them and partner with them as well.
Awesome.
So we also try and get field trips to come in and see our gallery exhibition. And then a lot of times we take our students on field trips as well, especially during our winter camp. It's like the best time for us to do a lot of field trips and expose our kids to different experiences.
Right. And so what I've learned about schools that are able to provide those additional opportunities for their students, it comes as a result of the principals understanding the value in that. If there's a principal that is just really, and don't get me wrong, academics is very important, but it has to be someone that understands that having an outlet for these kids is just as important as their academics. Then you have the schools that provide, programs or, partnerships with organizations like yours to provide these opportunities for the kids. So that's beautiful to hear. So your role at the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center,
we get that a lot.
It was renamed. Have you all been affected by the budget cuts?
Um, yes and no.
Okay.
Because luckily we are funded through Department of Cultural Affairs.
Okay.
So we're blessed enough that our staff hasn't been directly affected at the moment, but we haven't had as many grants because we do rely on grants sometimes to provide like financial assistance. So because it is a tuition-based program.
Okay.
So a lot of times we have to look at different resources for financial assistance and things of that nature. But
Right.
To a certain degree, we have, but at the same time, our everyday routine hasn't
It
been.
could still.
Yeah.
However, if you all did have access to more grants, then you could provide more programs.
Yes, we will be able to provide more programming, and it will be more accessible. We will be able to have more instruments, and you know, the overall experience would be improved for our students in general.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, from how long have you been at the African Heritage?
I've been there 13 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, maybe more,
Okay.
maybe like 14. I started out as part-time. It was actually my first job.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that means two things. You're doing a great job, and they really like you.
Yes, they do.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm pretty sure you've seen the transition over time, maybe even if it's in the number of students that you all provide services to, the types of programs that you all provide. Right?
I think luckily our programming itself hasn't changed, like the services, but the students have kind of shifted a lot. You know, now we have our students have different priorities is what we're finding now. A lot of them are stopping their arts education a little bit early. You know, so retention is more difficult because when they get a certain age, they have to focus on more real life things. Yeah. So those things they do get in the way.
That's a challenge.
And then the overall attendance has been a bit lower, which is why we are pressing our outreach and making sure we're getting in those schools and getting in front of people, because we're located very close to different schools like Drew. Yeah. So we'll be working with them coming up soon, very shortly as well. So it has been a challenge, and we're looking at overcoming it.
Yeah, you all are in the heart of the inner city community in Liberty City, right? And so the students that are able to partake in these programs and activities, have you all had any students to come back and give you their testimonies and those beautiful stories about their experiences?
All the time. And that's actually one of my boss's favorite pastime, is bragging about his alumni. He calls them, he's like, you know, center alumni, we have to get them together. So like a few notable ones, the gentleman who wrote Moonlight, he actually was a center alumni. Also, we've had quite a few backup dancers for some very famous people who have worked and gone out, but for some strange reason, everyone always comes back. So recently we had Robert Battle, who's former director of Alvin Ailey, come and work with us with our dance department. And he choreographed a piece for our dance show. So that was also very interesting.
Awesome. Awesome. So you all are doing amazing things in the community. And that's why we have to make sure that we bring awareness through the Save the Arts initiative, because the arts are very important in our community. The Black experience is one of greatness. We learn a lot about ourselves just by talking to our friends, listening to music, singing in the car with our cousins. That's a lot of times how we learn the talent that we have. Singing in the church choir, that's all about the Black experience. So I'm so happy that the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center is still doing the great work. How long have they been in business?
50 years.
50 years.
Yeah, this year is our 50th anniversary. Absolutely. So we will be doing a lot of celebrations coming up. So next month we have a stage play that's opening called Crowns for Women's History Month. So they're
I would
putting
love
the
to
scene
come
up
to
for that. That would be wonderful. We would love to have you. So Crowns will be opening the first weekend of next month.
Awesome. Yep. Save me a seat. I'll be there. Yep. So this is Ms. Karla from the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center, giving us all the information about the wonderful work that they're doing. And this is why we have to make sure that we continue to put the word out there, that we continue to make sure that these types of organizations receive funding so that you all are able to continue to do the good work in the community. I tell people all the time, community work is not just about politicians. It's not just about police officers. It's not just educators. It's not just business owners.
Yeah.
It's everybody. We
Mhm.
all must come together to do the work for the betterment of our community, for the continuation of our history, so that we can continue to curate inventors and artists and dancers, all of the great things that the Black culture has to bring forth to this universe. So I want to thank you for your time, Karla. It was such a pleasure having you. And any last words for us?
No, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate my time with you and being able to be exposed to what you have going on and everything that you're doing for the community as well.
Awesome.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I hope that you come out to Broadway in the Gardens
I
on
will.
February 21st.
Definitely.
Again, this is Councilwoman Katrina Baskin sharing the great news with you about Broadway in the Gardens through our Save the Arts initiative, which will take place on Friday, February 21st at the Lou Ross Performing Arts Center, the only HBCU in South Florida, Florida Memorial University. Take care.